Welcome to this week's episode of Let's Chat. This week, we're talking all about Cannes 2025.
Now, Cannes this year could have just as easily been called Tech 2025.
Right. While technology has always played a supporting role in the international festival, this year it stole the show.
Dominating beachfront activations and setting the tone for the future of creativity.
From the Amazon port to Canva's Creative Cabana, tech-led storytelling, AI-powered personalization, and platform partnerships were everywhere.
Everywhere. But, some of the most impactful insights weren't found on the main stages.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
They happened in the more intimate spaces like Adweek's house and the Washington Post lounge.
That's where leaders got real about trust, loyalty, cultural fluency, and AI's evolving role in marketing.
Exactly. So in this episode, we'll unpack 5 of the biggest takeaways from Cannes' standout sessions.
And close with practical tips for those already plotting their return to the Riviera in 2026.
Let's dive in.
Okay, let's unpack this first big idea that seemed to be everywhere. Trust. Especially, for high-stakes industries, but really for everyone. It was a cornerstone theme.
Definitely.
It makes you wonder, how do you really build that? Is it just one big campaign?
Right.
Or something deeper?
Well, what really came through at Cannes was this focus on consistency, not just fleeting tactics. Leaders were pretty clear. Trust isn't a one-off. It's a marathon.
Okay.
So Mattel's chief brand officer, she talked about decades of consistency in prioritizing safety, authenticity, that kind of thing. It's that long-term commitment. And MasterCard's chief marketing and communications officer echoed that, warned against chasing shiny pennies. The message was basically, stay true to your core purpose, day in, day out. That builds something real.
That makes so much sense. It's like any relationship, isn't it? You build trust through, the small, consistent things.
Exactly. And that idea flowed right into how people talked about customer relationships, about loyalty. Ulta's VP of customer marketing, she had this great phrase, loyalty as a progressive love story.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, built on repeated good experiences, not just a quick transaction.
Right. And Coca-Cola's senior director of global loyalty strategy said something similar, like a long-lasting love affair needs daily integrity.
Do what you say, mean what you do. Simple, but powerful.
And hard to execute consistently, I bet.
Totally. And what's interesting is seeing it applied in maybe unexpected places.
Yeah.
Like the Washington Post.
Oh, yeah. What did they do?
They rebranded their online comments section, called it Conversations instead.
Huh.
It sounds small, but they called it a deliberate trust play, trying to encourage more, civil dialogue.
That's smart. It shows trust isn't just about the product, it's the whole interaction.
Yeah. It almost reframes the budget, right? Less campaign spend, more like ongoing R&D for reliability.
Good way to put it. Is your brand built for that marathon? Or are you still just sprinting?
And that idea of long-term investment, it naturally leads into the second insight. How loyalty itself is changing.
Right. It's not just about keeping customers anymore, is it?
Not at all. Cannes showed it's really evolved into more of a two-way emotional exchange.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, the loyalty and rewards panel really got into this. Fetch's chief revenue officer said loyalty now is about relevance.
Relevance.
Yeah, like giving the customer a reason to keep you, continuously proving your value, not just preventing them from leaving.
That makes sense. It's proactive.
Exactly. And McDonald's chief loyalty and engagement officer talked about balancing transactional and emotional value. But the emotional connection keeps them coming back. That's what drives the repeat behavior, more than just the points or the deals.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found really interesting was this idea that loyalty isn't just external, it's internal too.
How so?
We heard leaders from Snap and Variety talking about psychological safety within their own teams.
Okay, as a loyalty lever.
Yeah. Their point was, if your own team doesn't feel secure and loyal internally, how can you genuinely project that outwards to customers?
Wow, that's a powerful point. Internal culture driving external relationships.
Right, and thinking about that long arc, Mattel brought this up too.
Oh, yeah?
How those childhood brand connections can create lifelong affinity. It shows how early emotions really shape our, commercial memory. Okay, third big insight. This one felt absolutely critical. Understanding Gen Z and multicultural audiences.
Yes, more than just understanding, right? It's about achieving cultural fluency.
Exactly. And what was clear is that cultural relevance isn't static. It's dynamic, constantly shifting.
So how do brands keep up?
Well, Adobe's brand marketing director mentioned her team actively co-creates with entertainment partners, with creators.
Co-creates, so not just observing trends.
Right. They're embedding themselves in the communities and the conversations shaping Gen Z culture to make sure they're not just relevant, but actually, like, authentic.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You have to be in it. And it's not just Gen Z, right? The emphasis on multicultural audiences felt really strong.
Huge. Leaders from inside studios talking influencer marketing were adamant. These aren't niche groups. They are core consumers.
For consumers, not targets for a side campaign.
Exactly. That means sustain authentic engagement, not just, ticking a box.
And the State Farm PR director pushed for a long-term commitments and partnerships, like with celebrities.
Yeah, to avoid what they called pop culture hijacking. You can't just jump on a trend. You need real relationships built on respect.
That's a fine line to walk, though, building genuine connections without it feeling like tokenism.
It is. And Reckitt came back to this idea of shared values and humanity.
Okay.
The point being, focus on universal human truths, shared purpose. That's how you bridge demographics authentically, rather than just focusing on superficial differences.
Find the common ground.
Yeah. So, the bottom line, cultural fluency isn't optional anymore. It's strategic. Real creativity happens when emotional intelligence meets deep cultural awareness.
The challenge is moving beyond just surface-level understanding to really get the nuances.
That's right. Let's tackle the elephant in the room, AI.
Yes. It was absolutely everywhere. But the key conversation seemed to be about its real potential, right?
Exactly. The fourth insight is really about seeing AI's role as deepening human connection, not replacing it.
Okay, how does that work in practice?
Well, take the Washington Post again. Iterable's own communications director, Lauren Kopulski, was involved in discussions about this.
Oh, cool.
Their Ask the Post feature uses AI to personalize curiosity. So it creates tailored summaries, updates based on what you actually care about.
So serving individual interests at scale.
Precisely. And some newsrooms are using AI-moderated conversations.
Not just for efficiency, though.
No, it's strategic.
Right.
To preserve brand integrity, foster healthier dialogue, AI enabling better human interaction.
Okay, that's the positive spin. But there was criticism too, right?
Oh, yeah. What happens long-term if we automate the human touch right out of marketing?
That's a scary thought.
It is. And tying it together, speakers in the brand strategy session made a key distinction. AI can scale creative reach.
Right.
Only if it genuinely supports deeper storytelling. It can't cut those vital cultural or emotional threads. Its job is to augment, amplify, not dehumanize.
Okay, so the insight is AI needs empathy.
Mm.
It can grab attention, personalize.
But only humans can generate affinity. Loved that quote. AI amplifies human connection. It doesn't replace it.
Which brings us nicely to our fifth and final insight. This idea that brand value is now co-created in real time.
Yeah, the old model of brands just broadcasting their message. It's shifting fast. It's much more fluid now, much more collaborative.
How did that play out at Cannes? Any examples?
Definitely. We saw how real-time moments are actually outperforming traditional media now in terms of just like recall and buzz.
Sure.
Think about NBC Universal's chat with The Real Housewives and SNL's Bo and Yang. They were highlighting Bravo's integrations, Love Island, SNL 50, even Instacart.
Right. Where humor, culture, commerce all just kind of collide.
Exactly. It works when brands are willing to share control, let partners play. It creates living content, sparks conversation, not just static ads.
And that changes partnerships too, I imagine.
Totally. The NBA talked about moving towards entrepreneurial partnerships, meaning going beyond just buying a one-off piece of content. It's about deeper collaborative ventures where both sides grow together. A long game.
Shared creation builds more impact than just a transaction.
Right. And think about nostalgia marketing.
Oh, yeah, like the Gap Khakis campaign or Lancome's Juicy Tubes.
Exactly. Those worked because they reactivated that emotional equity authentically. They invited the audience to co-create the memory, basically.
Yeah, go create the memory. Interesting.
And brand marketing is just being built differently now.
How so?
Co-created by consumers, influencers, platforms, all at the same time. It's a constant conversation.
Not a monologue.
Not anymore. So the takeaway here is brands have to be agile. You've got to participate. Move fast.
Yep.
Because the brand isn't static, it lives in motion.
It's constantly evolving with its audience. If you can't keep up with that dance, you risk getting left behind.
Okay, so before we wrap, let's pivot to some practical tips for anyone planning to hit the Croisette next year. Cannes 2025 really hammered home that intention is key. First tip, Skip the spectacle, go for depth.
Meaning?
The activations that really resonated weren't always the biggest or loudest. They were thoughtful, like the Female Quotients Lounge focused on equality.
Right. Better than just another open bar.
Exactly. Niche and intentional beats broad and forgettable. It sparks real connection.
Anchored to insight, not interruption.
Add value.
Exactly. Your presence works best when it actually helps people. Host a live taping, a private roundtable, a fireside chat that encourages honest talk.
Help people connect, reflect, learn.
Right. Be a resource, not just another logo. That's what people remember. Plan for presence, not pressure. We saw the best connections happening after the panels. Spontaneously.
Like at the LVMH Villa or Morning Brews brunch.
Yeah, or just bumping into someone on the beach.
Yeah.
Build flexibility in. Let your team actually be present. Connect authentically.
Allow for those organic moments. That's where the real relationship building happens. Okay, final tip.
Design for long-tail impact. Your activation shouldn't just vanish when the festival ends.
Keep the momentum going. Plan for post-hand amplification. Recap content, on-demand sessions, strategic follow-ups. Extend the story beyond the Riviera. Make it last.
Great practical advice. That's it for this week's episode of Let's Chat, Cannes Edition.
If 2025 taught us anything, it's that brand magic happens where trust, tech, and timing collide.
Hope this gave you and your team some jet fuel for the journey ahead.
We'll see you next week. Same time, same chat.